Hello everyone and welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And today we're beginning our 2-day sort of science article. We're going to be learning all about a big fish.
Oh, it's a shark.
Right, actually a whole family of fish. And really, I think I read somewhere like 80% of sharks are actually small.
Oh, and then the big ones are the ones that we're all scared of.
The big ones are the ones we're scared of. Yeah, but most sharks are,
They're so cute.
Actually, they kind of can be. Yeah, absolutely. And they're very interesting animals. It's a kind of separate family of fish. So they're actually quite different from normal fish that we think of in lots of really important ways. Have you ever actually seen a shark in the ocean?
No, but I saw one at an aquarium.
Okay, in an aquarium, yeah.
This is in Okinawa.
Oh, they have a big aquarium down there, don't they?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's Chirami Aquarium, and it's like you get to see the shark above you because it's round like that.
Oh,
and you
I
see
see.
their white bellies.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool. And
Have you ever met a shark?
I did see a shark in the ocean once when I was a kid. I was in the little island country of the Seychelles in the Indian Ocean.
Wow.
Or of course, you might expect to see sharks, but I didn't expect to see sharks. There's something very strange that happens in your mind and body when you're just kind of swimming in the ocean and you put your head under the water, and of course the water was nice and clear. I could see a shark. It was quite far away, but I wanted, you know those cartoons where you see people jump out of the water and run across? I almost thought I could do that. It was a very much like,
it was
okay,
like fear, basically.
Swimming time is over. We are getting out of the water now. So that was probably the fastest I ever swam in my whole life. And of course the shark wasn't doing anything. He's just swimming around minding his business. But they are the kings of the sea. So let's learn all about sharks.
One.
Seen by many as cold-blooded killers, sharks have a fearsome reputation. However, there is more to these ocean predators than meets the eye. Read on to find out more about sharks and why their survival matters. Species: Great white shark. Size: up to 6 meters. Weight: up to 2.3 tons. Lifespan: around 70 years. Swimming speed: up to 25 kilometers per hour. Diet: fish, dolphins, whales, seals, sea lions, sea turtles, seabirds, other sharks. Habitat: coastal and offshore waters with a water temperature between 12 and 24 degrees Celsius. Conservation status: vulnerable.
All right, so let's take a look at the king of the kings of the sea, I should say, all about sharks. We have 4 different types of sharks we're going to be learning about today. But first, the article says, seen by many as cold-blooded killers, sharks have a fearsome reputation.
Must be Jaws.
Well, that's probably part of the problem. The Jaws movie sort of gave sharks this fearsome reputation. Of course, 90% of sharks are very small and would never bother a person. Even the big sharks don't bother many people at all. But they do have this reputation. What is a reputation? It's basically what people think of someone or something. It might not always be true, but if you ask a person, what are your first ideas about such a thing or such a person or such a place? They would say, oh, I don't know much, but this is what I know. All right, so reputations are based on what people hear, maybe bad information, maybe old information, but it's kind of the common ideas about lots of things that maybe people don't really know that well. For example, the hotel chain has earned its reputation as one of the best in the world. If I say the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, people go, oh, wow, that's a really nice, fancy, expensive hotel. Have you ever stayed there? No, I've never stayed there, but it has that reputation.
However, there is more to these ocean predators than meets the eye. Read on to find out more about sharks and why their survival matters. So we are talking about how people don't really know all about sharks. They just think they are really scary. We are also talking about how some sharks are endangered, which means maybe they are not going to be around anymore. So let's take a look at the first species that we're going to talk about. The species is great white shark.
Jaws!
Ah!
That's the Jaws shark.
The size is up to 6 meters. Big.
Big.
So how many centimeters is that? 6?
Well, I'm a little less than 2 meters. So imagine 3 of me and a little bit more. But that would be a really big one. But these are big, big, big fish.
And the weight up to 2.3 tons.
Oh my gosh, that's like an elephant.
It's like an elephant.
That's really heavy.
The lifespan is around 70 years. They'll live a long time, like people. Swimming speed up to 25 kilometers per hour or kph. So
25
this is
kph. Okay.
kph. And this is how they calculate the speed of swimming. And diet, what they eat is fish, dolphins, whales, seals, sea lions, sea turtles, sea birds, other sharks.
Basically
Everything
they can get in their mouth,
the
they
ocean.
will eat. But notice there, it didn't say people on that list because, only 2 or 3 people a year get hurt by sharks. So even the great white shark isn't that dangerous. It doesn't deserve its scary reputation. And we also saw in that menu, that list of foods for the great white shark, dolphin. Yeah, of course, dolphins. These are fish as well. Well, they're not actually fish. They're mammals, but they swim in the water like sharks and other fish do. But yes, they're mammals. They're warm-blooded. They breathe air. They have live babies. They don't lay eggs like many other types of sharks. Dolphins and whales are unusual sea creatures because they do have to come up to the top to breathe air just like we do. We are both mammals. Here is an example sentence from the boat's deck. We could see dolphins skipping across the ocean waves. I remember seeing some dolphins down around Ilan or Hualien or Suao. You can see dolphins down there. Okay, back with the great white shark. We also learn about its habitat. Habitat is basically where it lives, where you will find these types of sharks, or where you might go to not want to go to stay away from these types of sharks. The habitat, coastal and offshore waters with a water temperature between 12 and 24 degrees Celsius. Very interesting.
Cool.
Very cool up to sort of warm. So I know that you can see these sharks off of New York in the northern part of the US and also down off of Florida and places like that in the warmer southern parts of the US. So basically many, many places except the coldest parts of the ocean. And conservation status, vulnerable. Basically, these sharks are in danger. Maybe not as bad as some. Maybe there are many thousands of them, but still they are in sort of a dangerous situation. If we lose more of them, then they might move into the endangered section. But right now they are vulnerable, so we need to take care of them. Let's take a break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这2天的课文呢是要介绍鲨鱼。那也许是受到电影的影响，鲨鱼有着可怕的名声，被许多人视为冷血杀手。不过这些海洋猎食动物啊，大多对人类是无害的。我们就借由这2天的课程来了解更多关于鲨鱼的讯息，以及为什么它们的生存很重要。好，文中的 cold-blooded， 它是形容冷血的，或者形容残酷的。那么相对的说法 warm-blooded 可以用来形容动物是恒温的意思。而单字 reputation 它表示声誉、名声，是个名词。那补充单字 predator 则可以用来表达猎食动物，像掠食者那种意思。还有 fearsome 它是形容可怕的、害人的。Rainbow 老师这时候说到 harmless， 在 harm 伤害后面加上 less 构成这个形容词，表示无害的，不会造成伤害的。那么课文接着他就列一个表格，从左到右的项目分别是 物种 species 或是念作 species， 还有写到这个体型大小、体重、寿命、泳速、游泳的速度。其中我们来补充一下 lifespan， 就是指寿命，尤其是指生物的寿命。还有写到这个饮食 diet。栖息地 habitat， 还有保护状况是 conservation status， 那这个是指说需要保护的程度。好，那我们就来看表格里面第一种介绍的物种，就是 Great White Shark 大白鲨。这听起来很可怕哦。那它们的饮食呢，有我们的第二个单字就是 dolphin，dolphin 就是海豚。Mike 老师在讲解时，他提到 mammal，mammal，mammal 就是哺乳动物。接回课文中。
Species: Nurse shark. Size: up to 3.1 meters. Weight: 150 kilograms. Lifespan: 20 to 25 years. Swimming speed: up to 40 kilometers per hour. Diet: lobsters, rays, squid, shrimp, clams. Habitat: tropical and subtropical coastal waters of the eastern Atlantic, western Atlantic, and eastern Pacific. Conservation status: insufficient data. Species: great hammerhead shark. Size: up to 6.1 meters. Weight: 580 kilograms. Lifespan: 20 to 30 years. Swimming speed: up to 40 kilometers per hour. Diet: fish, rays, octopuses, squid, lobsters, crabs, shrimp, smaller sharks. Habitat: tropical waters around the world. Conservation status: critically endangered. Species: blue shark. Size: up to 4 meters. Weight: up to 182 kilograms. Lifespan: around 20 years. Swimming speed: up to 43 kilometers per hour. Diet: squid, shrimp, lobsters, seabirds, smaller sharks. Habitat: deep temperate and tropical waters. Conservation status: near threatened.
All right, so the first shark we looked at is one of the more well-known, the great white shark. It's really big. It has a scary reputation, although it probably doesn't deserve it. It's because of that Jaws movie that you mentioned. Let's move to another different species of shark. This one is much smaller. It's called a nurse shark, which is an interesting name. We can see there the size. Yeah, it's basically half the size of a great white shark. And of course, up to 3.1 meters tells us this is the biggest that they would be. So most of them might be closer to 1.5, 2 meters, something like that. But a really big one can get up to 3 meters. The weight, you can see they're much, much lighter than a great white shark, 150 kilograms. So basically like a large person, that kind of weight. Lifespan, again, less than a great white shark, 20 to 25 years. So not too long a lifespan, but, you know, reasonable. Swimming speed up to 40 kilometers per hour. Wow, quite fast.
It's very fast.
Notice, though, that all of these sharks swim faster than you, so, you know, bear that in mind. And the diet, what does a nurse shark eat? Well, it won't be eating dolphins and whales. It's not that big. So what does it eat? Lobsters, rays, squid, shrimp, and clams. So lots of smaller things is what the nurse shark eats. And also, a lot of those things kind of live on the bottom of the ocean. So maybe it spends more time down there on the bottom of the ocean, on the sea floor. And we had this word lobster. Now, nurse sharks like lobster, but so do people.
Oh yeah, lobsters are red fish with claws, big claws.
They're red when you cook them.
They're red when you cook them. Otherwise, they're like
blue
kind of blue or grayish.
Gray, purple, yeah.
Purple, gray, blue, purple. Yeah, that's true. And they move around, and people like to eat the meat from inside of their claws.
And the tail, too,
and
that long tail. Yeah.
It's kind of, it's not very easy to eat, to be honest, but I guess everybody likes lobsters.
Yep.
Mark removed the lobsters from the boiling water and placed them on the plate, ready to eat.
There you go. Lobster and crab is a similar type of animal.
Yeah.
Both very popular with people to eat in seafood restaurants, and also both live down on the bottom of the ocean. Now, where would we find these nurse sharks?
A nurse shark habitat is tropical and subtropical coastal waters of the eastern Atlantic, western Atlantic, and eastern Pacific. Conservation status, insufficient data. So we don't have enough information about this nurse shark. Maybe it's hard to study, or maybe people are focusing on studying the other sharks. So the information is insufficient.
Okay, maybe that's good news. Maybe that just means there's lots of them, so we haven't bothered to count them.
Maybe.
But yeah, insufficient means we don't have enough to really do this properly or to tell you accurately. For example, this organization helps people who have insufficient funds to pay their medical bills. Whenever you read insufficient funds, you just think not enough money. All right, back to the sharks. Next, move on to another species, the great hammerhead shark.
Whose head looks like a hammer.
That's one of the easiest sharks to remember, and also one of the weirdest animals in the world. I love hammerhead shark because when you see them in a nature show, you watch for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes you go, what a weird looking fish.
They're aliens.
They're so cool looking. Anyways, how big are they? It says up to 6.1 meters. I believe there are many types of hammerhead shark. This one being the great hammerhead shark. Doesn't mean it's great like it's wonderful. It means it's probably the biggest of this type of shark, this hammerhead shark. Almost as big as a great white shark, but notice much, much lighter. Weight 580 kilograms, so not even close to the weight of a big great white shark. And their lifespan is also much less, 20 to 30 years, more like a nurse shark than a great white, and swimming speed up to 40 kilometers per hour. These are fast.
Their diet includes fish, rays, octopuses, squid, lobsters, crabs, shrimp, and smaller sharks.
Yeah, that's just like me.
So you'll notice they're eating smaller things. It has to do with their size.
Yeah.
Habitat, tropical waters around the world, maybe some around us.
That could be.
Conservation status, critically endangered.
That's bad.
All right, so we have the word critically endangered. That means very, very endangered to the point where they would disappear. Critically is an adverb. I have a sentence for you. 2 factory workers were critically injured in the accident. That means that the accident was so serious that they might lose their lives, and so they're critically injured. And we don't want to be in that situation.
Right, yeah, it's showing us that it's at a very high and dangerous kind of level.
Yes.
Not a good situation. Okay, let's move on to our 4th and final type of shark or species, the blue shark. I think this is one of the more common types of sharks around in the world. Size, it says up to 4 meters, so they can be quite big. Weight, up to 182 kilograms, very light. This is like the supermodel of the shark world, tall and skinny or something like that. And they have the lifespan of a supermodel. No, of course not. Around 20 years. So they only live a short time. Maybe the career of a supermodel, 20 years. Their swimming speed, because they're thin and light, very fast, up to 43 kilometers per hour. Imagine swimming that fast. That's incredible. And what do they eat? Well, small stuff. Squid, shrimp, lobsters, seabirds, and smaller sharks. Imagine being a little bird just sitting there floating on the ocean. Bah! A shark comes along and eats you. It's a blue shark. Habitat, where do we find these guys? Deep, temperate, and tropical waters. Tropical meaning the warmest parts of the world, temperate just above and below. So again, not up in the northern or southern polar regions, and also in the deep ocean, so that you'll find them away from the coastal areas. Conservation status, near threatened.
All of them are in danger.
Yeah, they're getting into that danger zone, but not that dangerous. Maybe because it's harder for fishermen to catch them or something, since they're out in the deep ocean.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. We've learned a lot about some really interesting, amazing, and beautiful animals, so let's try to protect them. We're going to learn more about shark coming up tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
好，我们再来看课文介绍的其他物种，分别有这个 nurse shark 角口鲨、great hammerhead shark 无钩双髻鲨，还有 blue shark 大青鲨。那它们饮食也都包含了像龙虾、鱿鱼、虾子等等。我们来看 lobster 就是龙虾。那老师没有聊到这个双髻鲨的外形最好认了，它们长得超奇怪，很像外星人。那么 alien alien 就是外星人。而在栖息地的部分呢，课文有提到 tropical， 那就是热带的。subtropical 则是形容亚热带的、副热带的，还有这个字叫 temperate 它是形容气候是温和的，或是形容温带的。好，再看到保护状况的部分，角口鲨呢是资料不足，它写到 insufficient data。那么无钩双髻鲨则是极危状态，叫做 critically endangered。那这边用到两个单字，我们看一下 insufficient。它是形容不足的、不充分的，它的字首 in 就表示不否定的意思。critically 它则是表达危急的、严重的，它是个副词。好，那以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Seen by many as cold-blooded killers, sharks have a fearsome reputation. However, there is more to these ocean predators than meets the eye. Read on to find out more about sharks and why their survival matters. Species: Great white shark. Size: up to 6 meters. Weight: up to 2.3 tons. Lifespan: around 70 years. Swimming speed: up to 25 kilometers per hour. Diet: fish, dolphins, whales, seals, sea lions, sea turtles, seabirds, other sharks. Habitat: coastal and offshore waters with a water temperature between 12 and 24 degrees Celsius. Conservation status: vulnerable. Species: nurse shark. Size: up to 3.1 meters. Weight: 150 kilograms. Lifespan: 20 to 25 years. Swimming speed: up to 40 kilometers per hour. Diet: lobsters, rays, squid, shrimp, clams. Habitat: tropical and subtropical coastal waters of the eastern Atlantic, western Atlantic, and eastern Pacific. Conservation status: insufficient data. Species: great hammerhead shark. Size: up to 6.1 meters. Weight: 580 kilograms. Lifespan: 20 to 30 years. Swimming speed: up to 40 kilometers per hour. Diet: fish, rays, octopuses, squid, lobsters, crabs, shrimp, smaller sharks. Habitat: tropical waters around the world. Conservation status: critically endangered. Species: blue shark. Size: up to 4 meters. Weight: up to 182 kilograms. Lifespan: around 20 years. Swimming speed: up to 43 kilometers per hour. Diet: squid, shrimp, lobsters, seabirds, smaller sharks. Habitat: deep temperate and tropical waters. Conservation status: near threatened.
Hello everybody, I am Shane.
I'm Iyin.
Today we are playing a game called Word Drop. We each have 3 cards here, and on these cards there are 3 words or phrases that we have to work into a conversation as smoothly as possible. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I think. Let me begin.
Okay.
Okay. So, I am really into going to look at animals.
Oh.
So I love going to zoos or aquariums. And one problem that I've found in Taiwan is that when you go to some of these zoos or aquariums, you feel like the animals aren't really treated as well. You know what I mean? It's like in the States, you might feel like there's like a bigger environment and they have more room to swim around. When I was here in Taiwan, I saw this dolphin, and you know when they're really sad, their like fin will kind of like lean over, and I was like really sad.
Oh, what was your word?
Dolphin.
Oh, dolphin. Okay.
Right?
I feel similarly because I feel that all zoos and aquariums, like, and I understand that, like, you know, as a species, like, we want to evolve, so we're so interested in studying, like, other species, like,
Right.
you know, on land and underwater. But I do feel the same way. I feel really sad when I see, like, you know, they're just like held captive, you know?
Yeah.
But I did see The Octopus Teacher. Have you seen that on Netflix? It is amazing because it talks about this octopus, and this guy just gathered like so much knowledge and information, and like because he had insufficient knowledge,
Okay.
that he gathered enough knowledge to make the documentary with.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think that, like, of course, we need to learn about animals in these kind of environments because we can't really see them in the wild. So if you see dolphins or you see like a lion at a zoo, you will start to appreciate and care about them, right? But the problem is you have to go to a zoo or aquarium that has a good reputation, because if they're not going to treat their animals well, then it really defeats the purpose of the education.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like safaris, I've always wanted to go on safaris and stuff, but there's some animals that are just kind of fearsome, you know,
Yeah.
like lions or tigers.
Oh my. Okay, well, speaking of seafood, there's this new restaurant that's just about a 5-minute walk from here. I don't know, are you into seafood?
Yeah,
Yeah? Do you like
love
fish?
seafood, yes.
Clams?
Yes,
Lobster?
love it.
You love lobster?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, some of these animals that we're eating, like, I don't even know what a sea cucumber really is, but it's quite popular here in Taiwan, like sea cucumbers. Anyway, but I
never tried
imagine
it.
some of these, the shark fin stuff, like, that stuff is all, like, critically endangered.
Yes. That's not good stuff to eat.
No.
See you next time.